Hi everyone, welcome to Eve Talks It All, one part of the TV Socialites Podcast Network. Today we will be talking about the CW TV show 90210 that aired from 2008 to 2013, spanning 5 seasons and focusing on the lives of teenagers turned young adults from the titular Beverly Hills. It is technically a spin-off show of the original Beverly Hills 90210, but it kind of gains a life of its own. And what we'll be talking about specifically in this episode is romantic relationship, not necessarily a map. I don't have a map here for you today. I have opinions. I've seen plenty of teen dramas in my heyday and still discovering some. But I can honestly say that this show has some of the messiest relationships that I have ever seen in any teen drama. And the sheer amount of interpolating romances. I mean, there's a reason why there is a hookup map available online. So today what I'm going to do, I'm going to go down a list that was very nicely curated by a kind person on the internet that I found on the website. Kill.com is the website, and it was created by someone called Florentina back in all the way in 2013. So this person saved me a lot of time having to write down every couple and how it's formatted. We go down by character and we look at all their relationships. So I'm just going to use that, and I'm just going to tell you what I think on each couple, if I have anything to say at all. And kind of like, I'm gonna go, just to keep it super simple, I'm going to rank the couples out of 5, what I think about them. Just like a bit of a basic ranking, but it gets the point across, I think. And I'm not gonna go super in depth analyzing their relationships and stuff like that, because I just don't think that it's a good use of our time, considering there are like 20 or 30 couples mentioned here. So I'm just going to share what I think, and then if a thought crops into my head to talk about something out of that in more depth, then there's always a possibility of making another video. But as far as I'm concerned, at the time of posting, I'll have recorded all of my content for 90210. There's already an episode available on Spotify talking about the 4 girls of the show, and we will also be recording something else on this show with Charlie in a couple days time as of me recording this on July 13th, and this video. So yeah, without any further ado, let's dive in. Sorry, exposure settings are a bit weird because the weather is just so strange. Like, it's sunny, then it's cloudy. So I'm just gonna be playing around a little bit, but if I'm having a weird glow, that's why. But anyway, we will start with Annie because she's the first character on this list. And her first relationship on the list, because I don't necessarily think that these were in chronological order, but again, this has been very helpful and saved me time that I could spend on focusing for my other research even. So her first relationship on the list is Liam. So they meet in season 1 after Liam's character is introduced, and they don't get together for quite a while. In fact, they have a bit of an antagonistic dynamic at first, because Liam keeps getting under Annie's skin and calling her out on the whole, oh, I don't believe that you're this nice little girl from Kansas. You have an exterior that you project to people, but you're going to explode, and I would love to see it happen, sort of thing. Like, I remember that scene pretty well. And then there's this altercation, because technically he's with Naomi, but he sleeps with Naomi's sister, not knowing that she's his sister, and then Naomi thinks it's Annie, and they have interactions in the first half that aren't the most positive because Liam's afraid to tell Naomi that it was really her sister, and he's worried that she's not going to believe him because Jen, Naomi's sister, kind of like pulled some strings, and they don't really interact much until the later half of season 2 when sparks start flying again. But it's really clear that the show wants to get these two together, and that's what it's working towards. And when it comes to when they actually do get together, they do exhibit kind of like a bit of a power couple vibe. I know Annie's not the most beloved main character of a show, and she does have some very annoying moments, but for me personally, they technically still are my favorite couple on the show and have been for the longest time, just because in terms of the tropes that they have, like that sort of bit of a hateful exterior that is just hiding the tension, a little bit of pining, a little bit of, angst and so on and so forth. It is a good time. But then I would say sometime in season 4 is where some problems in the ship kind of start poking through, because even with some of my favorite couples, I do have some things that I wish were done differently. Because in season 4 in the premiere, we literally have Liam trying to propose to Annie, which kind of comes out of nowhere considering that they left their relationship at the end of season 3 on a bit of a shaky ground, with them not matching each other's futures. And then it's revealed that he was just trying to mask the fact that he technically cheated on her, because they never properly broke up, and it's like, it's not great, is it? Although, considering what other couples on the show have done, it's not the worst, but like the standards are really low here. And then we enter this kind of a weird dynamic between those two, where it's obvious that there's still some feelings there, and the show keeps drawing them back together, but then before it can actually show us what's happening, they just get torn apart. And a lot of the time, it is actually Annie pining for Liam while Liam is with other people. And don't get me wrong, Annie definitely has her fair share of love interest, which we'll go through. But it seems that past a certain point, probably like mid-season 4, she is more into Liam than he is into her. And I'm not a huge fan of that discrepancy in the relationship, especially considering that in season 5 she literally takes a bullet for him. And I'm not saying that that entitles her to Liam, but at the same time, it's like that meant nothing to him. And then there's a lot of pining from her side of things in the later half of season 5, and the thing that bothers me the most, so I'm glad that they ended up together, don't get me wrong, in the scene with him proposing to her on the plane driveway, don't know the technical name for it, at the end, it is a nice scene, and clearly that's what Annie wanted, so I'm glad that she had the endgame that she wanted. And the show wants us to think that that's what Liam wanted, and I do think that on some level he definitely did want that, but I really don't like the trope where our main characters or side characters, like just when a character has to be told something by another person to finally realize, oh shit, yeah, that's what I want, because Liam spends most of season 5 completely oblivious to the fact that Annie still has feelings for him. We have the scene where she says, I think I still love you, and he's just passed out drunk, and she just sort of never says it, but like it's very obvious with how she's acting around him that something's happening. But I think that it has to be Naveed, of all people, who tells Liam that you clearly still love her. And it's like, be that as it may, the fact that he had to be told, and the fact that he pulled this grand gesture out of his ass after basically moving on with other people, multiple people, for the last season and a half. Like, I was not a fan of that, right? So how would I rank them? I would rank them 5 out of 5 for the potential and the dynamic that we were given overall, but I'm doing it with a slight caveat that the actual execution of how the show explored this couple would be more of a 4. But yeah, tied with another couple that I'm going to talk about shortly. They're still a favorite of mine, but they definitely do have these issues. Although, as I'm going to be talking more, I don't think there is a single relationship on this show that is actually healthy and good, at least up in its entirety. A lot of them have, like, really good tendencies up until a certain point, and then the show decides, you know what, we need more drama, so we're just gonna take a massive dump on all of this. So yeah, that is Annie and then I have Annie and Riley, and I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't remember this at all. From the photo, I can tell that it's from later seasons because of Annie's hair color, because she has darker hair, kind of like in the second half of the show. But I literally remember absolutely nothing about this relationship. I literally just think it was one of those roadblocks because she couldn't be with Liam, so she got with this guy instead. I have absolutely no thoughts about these two. So I guess I'm just gonna give them 2 out of 5 just because I don't hate them. But the fact that I don't remember anything about them shows that they clearly weren't that intriguing. So kind of like 2 seems about right. Then I got Annie and Caleb. I just remembered that Caleb is a priest, and he was considering giving up his priesthood to be with her. And I'm just like, we don't need this. Don't care for it. Just why? Like, why are we bringing religion into this? Where does she keep finding these men? This adds nothing to the show. I get another guy thrown her way because she can't be with Liam, but she also can't be by herself. I would say 1 out of 5 just because I just don't like that whole religion angle to it. Then we have Annie and Charlie. This was in season 3, kind of a love triangle situation, like a soft love triangle between her, Charlie, and Liam. But it was very obvious that he was just another roadblock between her and Liam, and she seemed to like him enough, but they were never strong enough feelings, considering that she slept with Liam while she was technically still with him. They were okay, but I mean, I never rooted for them because, as far as I was concerned, he was in the way of the couple I actually wanted to see together. So I guess I would give them like a 2 out of 5 as well. There's not that much to say. I don't even remember how they write him out of the show, but yeah, it's just anticlimactic. I'm pretty sure that even though technically he is Liam's half-brother, he never gets mentioned again, which is typical for shows like that. Gossip Girl's the worst for it. I mean, Scott, who's Scott? But yeah, it's like, whatever, you know? And then Annie and Jasper, well, how else would I rank this one but 1 out of 5? I mean, that whole relationship is under false pretenses, considering that Annie goes to the funeral of the man that she accidentally killed, and Jasper knows this from the get-go, but he doesn't share that information until a crucial time. He basically manipulates her and gets her into this relationship with him, and then keeps her with him via this blackmail that he's gonna out her crime, and then he manipulates her by suicide attempts and stuff like that. It's just very we actually touched up on this relationship a bit in the episode on the 4 girls on Spotify, which Charlie joined me for. So we said what we think about them there, but I mean, just by the looks of it, well, there's nothing to root for. The relationship was under false pretenses on both parts, really, like both parties. I mean, even if Jasper wasn't completely batshit crazy, how would they have worked? Imagine telling your kids, so how did you meet? Well, I ran over his uncle. You're not sure how that would work on the relatives tree, but obviously it would be like their relative. I went to the funeral because I felt so bad, and then he knew the whole time, but he still dated me. It's like, even without him turning controlling and manipulative and abusive, that would have been crazy. So even without that, they had no future. But yeah, I think that Jasper was a plot device to further isolate Annie from the gang in season 2, even after the truth came out about the whole Jen thing. And yeah, it's just he was an entertaining villain, but ultimately there's not really anything redeeming about him, and again, there's no way that they could have worked. So then we have Annie and Ethan. I mean, again, Ethan is one of the most soggy dud characters in this show. Thank fuck that he leaves after season 1, never to be seen again. Annie getting with him, knowing what he did to Naomi, the whole cheating thing, not girl's girl Annie, not cool, and obviously you lose them how you get them. It's, again, what exactly is there to root for in this relationship? A girl betraying girl code of her friend, getting with a guy who she knows is a cheater. It's like, were we meant to root for that? I hope not. But yeah, it's nothing redeemable about this whole situation, and again, not interesting. Not interesting. Well, it provided drama, and obviously this relationship's purpose, I think, in the storytelling overall, was very clear that it was there for Naomi to have these seeds of doubt enough so that she would blow up when the whole Jen thing happens. That was basically it, because apart from that, I mean, what did them two being together actually accomplish? Nothing. So yeah, 1 out of 5. Annie and Ty, I remember absolutely nothing. I think they were more just like a superficial fling almost scenario. In general, I don't remember much of Ty's character. I just remember that whole thing with Adriana and the contract for the baby. So he's a dick, and again, nothing really redeemable, and I'm pretty sure that he never gets mentioned again after season 1. So I guess, like, just because there's nothing to despise necessarily, probably would give them 2 out of 5, just because they're not as bad as like the other couples that I mentioned. But again, nah, whatever. And we have Annie and Mark, which is listed as a fling, although I don't even think I could call it that, and I'm not even sure if this should be on here, because ultimately he is an attempted rapist of Annie, and gets together with her under the pretenses of assaulting her, thinking that she's easy after the whole scandal with Naomi, and they go out on this date, and he tries to force himself on her, and Jasper is the one who saves her. It's like, I mean, this is even below a 1. This is like a 0, because already trash, and as far as I'm concerned, he didn't really suffer any consequences for this. So, not very nice of the show to do that. But yeah, don't even... I guess technically, because they went on a date, this was included, but whatever. Nothing else to say, really. Super messy, super gross, and terrible. Then we have Annie and Colin. Again, have no idea who this dude is. No, I don't remember him whatsoever. Again, by the looks of it, looks like a later seasons thing, and like I really struggled to remember season 4 especially. I barely remember. I remember season 5 a bit better. But yeah, I don't remember these at all. But I guess if I don't remember them, then there wasn't that much to hate. Please correct me. But I'm just going like more by my instinct rather than some kind of a super pretentious in-depth analysis. So I guess I would give them 2 out of 5 just because clearly nothing good to say about them, but I didn't despise whoever this dude is. And then Annie and Patrick, that is easily one of the more disgusting ships of hers because he was, I'm pretty sure, paying for her services initially, and then they started seeing each other, and then he was blackmailing her over her being an escort, which, by the way, one of the most random storylines in the show. But yeah, I think that, obviously this is a 1 out of 5, and there's not that much to say about it, but I think the point is that when you really look at this, like, all together, they really didn't give any good love interest apart from Liam, which I think by default you're rooting for them because all the others are so crap. I guess apart from Charlie, like, he was fine. Did I actually rank them? I guess you could give him like a 3 out of 5, I'll be generous. But yeah, apart from him, all of these guys are either completely random, completely unmemorable, or outright trash. So, yeah, no wonder she was pining for Liam, because with all of these other choices, it is slim picking city over here. But yeah, so now as we go through other characters, I'm not going to mention Annie again if she's included in this relationship, because obviously I already have spoken about it, because the way that this person listed, she lists every relationship of a character even if it's a repeat, so I'm not going to do that. But yeah, so now let's move on to whatever character's next. Now we have Naomi, and the first one on the list is Naomi and Jordan, and I mean, honestly, I don't think that this was necessary at all, but there's nothing that bad to say about them. So I guess I'll give them a 3 just because, like, they're fine. But for Naomi, it's either another person or nothing. It's whatever, I guess. In this show, you can't end up single, so okie dokie. But now on to the couple that I actually care about for Naomi is Max. So Naomi and Max, I mean, they're tied with Annie and Liam for me, and they're easily one of the best couples in the show, because it subverts that whole nerd and popular guy trope, because we have the girl's popular, the guy's a nerd, but he's not. Like, she's the one who's down bad, and he's just sort of, like, unbothered. If anything, like, he's embarrassed of her. And it's, I mean, we also, Charlie and I discussed this couple in a bit more detail in that episode that I told you we did. But honestly, they're so good together, and there's so much love there. I just think that for one reason or another, they were done dirty by the writers, so it's, again, another case of 5 out of 5 for the dynamic and the chemistry and how much I love them. But as far as the execution in the show goes, it's probably like a, I don't know, probably like a 3, because it's just, they just got, I mean, you have that whole, like, love triangle thing in season 4 with that Austin guy, which is already, like, whatever, but then you have the whole, she interrupts his wedding, then they get married, and then there's these problems, and it's like, you really couldn't think another way to manufacture conflict between them, because it's like, it just seemed so out of nowhere, because how can you start losing yourself in your relationship if you've barely been together and you went through so much to finally be together, and now it's like, oh, actually this is not what I want. And then was the whole thing with I believe his name was Alex, when he sabotaged Max's job and everything, and made Naomi look bad, and then the whole counseling thing is just, I wonder whether the actor who played Max was going to do something else, or whether the writers just didn't like Naomi being happy with someone. I don't know. It seems a bit messy there. I know Annalyn McCord did a video of like her own canon ending where she reunites with Max, and I'm gonna take that as canon. It's just it's sad that they got done so dirty, because it's like, I mean, we already had so much drama with all the other characters. They could have just done that. They're still together long distance while Max is doing something. The actor could no longer be in the show or whatever, I don't know. Yeah, it's sad. It feels like if they wanted to deconstruct their relationship, they could have done a better job than whatever the fuck that was. But then again, it seems like somewhere during season 4, the writers lost the plot. I don't know. Maybe they were different writers. I don't know. I've not researched that far. I just know that it's sad. Naomi and Preston, no idea who this guy is. So, just for the sake of it, I'm just gonna give it a 2 out of 5. Again, clearly they didn't leave an impression. Like, who is this guy? I don't know. Just another love interest for no reason. Like, this show really likes to do that. And then we have Naomi and Austin. Again, he was just a roadblock to Naomi and Max getting back together as far as I'm concerned. And obviously then he ended up cheating, but the fact that Naomi was already like 1 foot out. I mean, this whole, like the whole thing of their whole relationship just, like, always gave me a bit of an ick. I was like, yeah, this isn't gonna last. He's not long-term boyfriend material. And obviously I was right, and just, yeah, I'll give them a 1 out of 5. Just, again, that's not what we want for our girl. If anything, like, I would have preferred for her just to be single for a bit. She was exploring the challenges of university/college for Americans, and just discovering herself and what she wants to do, as opposed to getting tangled up in this guy. And he took up way too much screen time during his arc. I think that he didn't warrant to have that much screen time for how. Naomi and Jamie, don't remember this guy either. Again, it seems like this show definitely has a knack for having lots of forgettable love interests just to fill up the screen time. During episodes they want to focus on other characters in their more dramatic storylines. Again, it's like, who is this guy? I don't know. I mean, maybe if I rewatched the show more recently, I would remember, but it's like, clearly, if I don't remember, then it wasn't anything super worth remembering. I don't know. Again, why do they do this to people? And then I have Naomi and Liam. So, these two, I think they are a very good example of an explored potential, because as much as I am happy that Liam ended up with Annie, and as much as I wish/take the Annalyn McCord's ending as canon, like, I think Naomi belongs with Max, I do think that Naomi and Liam could have been very interesting together, and season 1 seemed to really want to explore that, and they had such a great chemistry, and the whole popular Ice Queen melting with the bad boy was very, like, I really enjoyed that. And the scene at the prom where she admits that she likes him and they kiss, and I think there was like some fake snow or something was happening. I think that was really nice. And then obviously the whole Jen thing happened, and then afterwards they try to explore their relationship again, but it's just not the same. And then we move on to Liam and Annie for the rest of the show, where and Naomi seems to just completely forget that she ever had any interest in Liam, when the entire feud with her and Annie for the first half of season 2 was because of Liam. And it's really interesting that the show decided, you know what, we're not going to do another like Brenda, Dylan, and Kelly love triangle with these 3, even though they could have done that. And on the one hand, thank God, because that triangle, I mean, I have a whole video just about that. It still gives me nightmares. But also, they wanted to focus on something else. And again, it's not necessarily a writing choice that I disapprove of, but at the same time, I wonder if it was because the writers really wanted to pivot to Annie and Liam and just explore that without any triangles or anything like that, or whether they kind of realized, you know what, we don't want to do this. We don't know what to do for this couple. I don't know, but I really liked them up until end of season 1, because like I don't really count their second go as proper try for their relationship. So I'll give them a 4 out of 5. Then Naomi and Ethan, I mean, what's there to say? He's a cheating scum who humiliated her, and although she definitely wasn't at her most likable at the beginning of season 1, she did not deserve that. So 1 out of 5. I mean, Ethan's a scum. What else is there to say? Basically, Naomi kind of has the same problem as Annie. I would say that she gets assigned these random guys as her love interests, and they're not memorable, or if they are memorable, they are trash. And obviously Max is like her one love interest that actually has good merit, and she didn't even end up with him. And then obviously Liam is lost potential. So again, I would say that these are the 2 girls in the show that definitely are tossed about, and a lot of their screen time that could have been focused more on their individual stories is used on these useless relationships for them. Now we are on to Silver, and good lord, I loathe her character, so chances are I'm gonna loathe all of her relationships, and the first one that I see is her and Mark, and if I remember correctly, he is Annie and Naomi's half-brother. Already, what the fuck? What are you doing? Especially because Adriana was interested in him, and them two already have a very messy history, so 1 out of 5. Come on, man. Why are you doing this to us? I mean, it's Silver, so if anyone can't be without a man, it's Silver. And even before I go down the relationship list for her, I just think that it stands to say that, again, no slut shaming, whatever, but she's the only character in the main group that has been with every single guy in the group. No other female character has done that, and it says something about her lack of girlhood and lack of royalty. Well, definitely lack of royalty, but also lack of loyalty, and also lack of any consideration for the friendship with the guys as well, because how could you expect to hook up with every single guy in the group and still maintain friendships with them afterwards when it doesn't work out? It's like, unfortunately, with how Silver's character is presented, it is very in character. Is it pleasant to witness? No. But yeah, as far as the individual relationships go, I mean, Silver and Naveed, how could I root for a couple that was born out of cheating? And even though Adriana was an absolute class A bitch in the whole Javier Victor arc in season 3, that does not give Silver the right to swoop in and take her man and gleefully wait until Naveed dumps her and is with Silver. And the kicker is that even once everything settles and they get together for real, she decides that she can't be bothered with some baggage that he has with his like family business and stuff like that. So it's like, you went through all of this, completely nuked one of your friendships for a guy, and now you don't even want to be with him. I mean, 1 out of 5. There's nothing redeemable about this couple for me. Then we have Silver and Greg, the guy who adopted Adriana's daughter. Again, 1 out of 5, because what's there to root for? He is in the process of divorce when he is with Silver, but he neglects to tell her that. He's a lot older. Obviously, she was like, I think she was like 19 or 20 at this time, but still icky for me, even if it's legal. And obviously the fact that he is literally raising Adriana's biological child. That's already super awkward, however you slice it. So ultimately, this could not have worked, and he is a bit of a sleaze, and obviously it's Silver, so it's like, I can honestly say that there's not a single relationship that Silver is a part of that I find redeeming at all. But yeah, let's just move on. Silver and Teddy, well, this one is tricky because obviously, they're together for a little bit in season 2 and 3, and she dumps him because of his alcoholism, because she doesn't want to be stuck in the same patterns that she was stuck with her mother and her alcoholism, and I could actually sympathize with her and understand this, but while they're together as well, there's just lots of, like, weirdness. She, is still, like, entertaining her exes and flirting with them, and it's just very, you know, not nice. And then you have the whole, obviously, Teddy realizing that he is gay and coming out and everything, so that's a whole other thing, and it shouldn't really be used to judge the metric of this relationship. And then, obviously, they have that whole baby surrogate thing, which I just find weird, but that's just more like their friendship rather than their romantic relationship. So, I'll give it a 2 out of 5, just because, like, it's not outright repulsive. They even had a couple of, like, non-vomit inducing moments, but at the same time, obviously, it's hard to rank and say because Teddy is a gay man and Silver is just frustrating. But I would say that it's pretty safe to assume that even if Teddy was not gay, they would not have worked in the long term, because I don't think that Silver is able to maintain a healthy relationship with anyone, even herself. So, and the last few, obviously Silver and Dixon, they are, like, he's her first serious love interest in the show, and then they toy with them after their breakup for a little while, and then they end up together kind of a bit randomly at the end of season 5, but that's, I think the show just wanted the couples that they got together at first to end up together. I didn't hate them to start with, even though I found Silver insufferable always. I thought they were actually okay. They had some sweet moments, and obviously, even though I loathe Silver, I'm not gonna shame her for having bipolar disorder, and obviously I can definitely extend empathy for her character because it was untreated. She didn't know what she had, and a lot of her behavior towards Dixon in season 1, like leaking their sex tape and like all the stuff, that the train track scene and everything, it's like, obviously she needed help and she needed medication and she needed to get properly diagnosed, but so you can't really hold that completely against her, but at the same time it's like that automatically creates a lot of trauma and baggage on Dixon's part, because obviously it's like he can't be too mad at her because she is ill, but at the same time that's so much shit already that he would feel like he would have to sweep under the rug to be with her. And we'll actually get to stuff shortly, but I just think that already, like, makes it so much, it creates so much weirdness that, again, it's not the best starting point to a long-term healthy relationship. So again, I'll give them a 2 out of 5. Do I like that they ended up together? Do I even care? Not really. Just, I don't see the point in it. And then the last couple, so we have Silver and Liam, which was a one-night stand that somehow made Liam obsessed with her for like 5 episodes. Again, disgusting. It's like, I'm not sure if Silver knew explicitly that Annie still has feelings for Liam at that point, but after the whole Naveed thing, what would have stopped Silver from going after another guy in the group that has been heavily involved with her friend? Detest these two. Definitely like 0 out of 5. They're just completely pointless, that whole thing with Naveed and Liam fighting over her. What is with men fighting over Silver out of all people? What's that about? Can someone tell me? Am I missing something? I don't get it. Yeah. Next, which is not any better, Silver and Ethan, which is just a kiss, but technically it happens while Silver's still with Dixon, kind of. I don't think they broke it off fully before that happened. That was before Ethan was written out of the show, and to be fair, thank God. Again, 1 out of 5, like, what to say, suddenly he's like, he was also going through the whole group, I guess. Thankfully, he hadn't got to Adriana. But yeah, it's just, they just had that one kiss, and it's like, whatever, I don't care, just get them away from my screen. So yeah, I already said what I think about Silver's relationships in general. Like I said, the fact that she goes through the entire groups as a law, and again, the only somewhat tolerable couple would have been her and Dixon, but again, the fact that she basically cheats on him at the end of season 1, and all the baggage, that stuff that she did, it's still, like, I just think it would have been too much weighing down. And obviously the fact that she was completely fine being the other woman and went on her high horse about it, it's like, I don't think that she... Then Adriana, we have her and Dixon, which I didn't hate them together, at least until she cheated on him. But they just seemed to get together purely because Adriana was so alone and exiled after the whole Silver medication thing, which, by the way, do not excuse that. Easily the worst thing that she's ever done. As much as I hate Silver. But it really seemed like it was born out of loneliness and almost like, kind of like, convenience and proximity. Like, oh, you're pretty much the only person in my now former friend group who's still talking to me. I guess I'm going to bone you then. I don't know. And then immediately they start the whole, like, career thing, putting each other's work before them, like, before each other, and just very, okay, clearly you don't want to be in this relationship. It's just, I just never bought it, really. So again, a 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5, I don't know. I just think that by the end of it, they were so sick of each other that, yeah, I mean, whatever. Adriana and Naveed, well, they clearly were set up to be, like, a big focal point of the show, and they were quite on and off and quite serious, obviously, for the first, like, 3 seasons. Then we have Naveed cheating on her, and then they end the show together after spending, like, good 2 seasons apart, and they do have some sweet moments, and I think that they do genuinely love each other. Did I ship them at any point or like them actively? No. Does it make sense for them to end up together? I guess. Do I care? No. I never really cared for Naveed's character much. I would say probably a 3 out of 5 for them, because, like, they're not terrible until the cheating, but I just think... Honestly, I think this whole friend group, there's so much shit that went down between them, that them all being friends and still, like, changing partners like socks, it's like, I don't know, there's just so much baggage for everyone involved, but especially these two. I feel like there's just so much stuff that was never properly addressed, that was never properly handled, like the whole cheating, everything, there's so much. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that they would have worked long term. Like, forever type of love. I just don't think. There's too much has happened. But they're not the worst couple on the show. Again, the standards are very low. Adriana and Gia, cute. Very revolutionary for the time. Shame that it was cut short. I think I'd give them like a 3 or 4 out of 5, I think. Don't have much to say apart from that. Just another underexplored storyline. So yeah. Then Adriana and Teddy, again, I don't think they actually dated on the show. I think they kissed. Don't don't remember, don't care. I guess I'd give them 2 out of 5. Like, nothing to hate necessarily, but it's like, just don't care, really. Adriana and Taylor fling. Is this the guy that she cheats on Dixon with? If so, then 1 out of 5, but I don't remember. Honestly, again, was this necessary? No. And then we have Adriana and Javier. Again, this whole thing. He seemed like a jackass, but then he died, and obviously she took his songbook, and it started a whole chain of events. So immediately I'm like, yeah, I would give it a 1 out of 5, because it led to so much mess. That whole thing, so messy. But also the fact that just because the dude died tragically doesn't make him any less of a dick in his life. So, yeah. Never liked. And then Adriana and Ty, it's listed as one night stand. Obviously, he's the father of her baby, but he was a bit of a piece of shit. And, again, that whole contract thing, him being ashamed of her, not wanting to do anything with the baby. 1 out of 5, of course. Like, there's no other way to go about it. Right, so what's next? So Naveed apparently had 4 other relationships apart from Silver and Adriana. And I genuinely don't remember any of them whatsoever. Like, the dude definitely doesn't have a memorable love life apart from being stuck in that love triangle. So, yeah, I guess 2 out of 5 for all of them, because I didn't hate them enough to remember, but I also don't care. Like, sorry. I don't really care. And I'm being completely honest about it. I think that's definitely just another screen time filler. Then Dixon's relationships, apart from Silver and Ivy, I don't remember any. The ones that are listed, complete blank. Him and Ivy were cute enough, but ultimately I don't have strong feelings, so I guess for the ones I don't remember, again, 2 out of 5, and for Dixon and Ivy, I'd give a 3 out of 5, just because fine, but there wasn't like any sparks flying necessarily. Like I said, with this show and the amount of relationships it shoves down our throat, there's just, it's really wild how there are so many of them, but there are such slim pickings in terms of what you actually love. So Liam, we already covered quite a few. So obviously Annie, Silver, and Naomi I covered. Then we have him and Vanessa, which, I mean, 1 out of 5. It's like Matt Lantern, Ariel, Kebbell, they have good chemistry, but what kind of a relationship is that? A woman literally runs you over, pretends she didn't while calling an ambulance, and then kind of traps you into this managey relationship that, like, she uses it as blackmail. Just then he pushes her over the ledge, thinks he killed her, and then it's like, this is weird, man. I mean, how can you be in a relationship with someone like that long term? Again, what would you tell your children? How did you meet? Well, kids, I hope you have a notebook, because this story's long and you're gonna lose track of time and names and everything. Yeah, I mean, what else is there to say? And Lindsay Fling, who the fuck is Lindsay? Is it that security guard who ended up kidnapping him? If that's the case, then 1 out of 5. Liam and Jen, 0 out of 5. Fucking hell, that caused a whole ass havoc. Probably like one of the biggest, if not the biggest, scandals in the whole show. What the fuck, man? Even without knowing that that's Naomi's sister. Why would you do that? The dude has problems. As much as he's my favorite male character in the show, but not perfect by any means. And then Liam and Sydney, I guess they were okay. There was nothing wrong with them. But at the same time, it was like, you're clearly just there so that Liam couldn't get back together with Annie till the very last scene of the show, basically. So I guess you get a 3 out of 5, just because you're... Then you have Teddy and his 2 relationships, not counting Silver and Adriana. You have him and Shane, and him and Ian. And again, I don't remember much about either of them. I think they were okay. I know that with And I believe obviously was Teddy like trying to come out but not willing to, and I think he was dumped over that, which, I mean, fair enough. Obviously, if you spend a lot of time out of the closet, you're not going to want to go back in, and obviously you're not going to want to be with someone who is not ready to love you in front of the whole world, so that's fair enough. I guess I could rank them 2 or 3. Again, no strong feelings there, but like I didn't hate Teddy and Marco. Absolutely, I don't remember them at all. Again, it's just Teddy was never a character that I cared for. Obviously, I liked the fact that obviously we got the representation of realizing that you're gay and the whole coming out storyline. I'm glad that we had that rep, but I never cared for Teddy as a character, and I think that both of those things can be true at once, so I never focused on his relationship. So Ivy and Raj, I really liked their relationship, what I remember of it, but obviously he passed away, and it was just so sad, and I thought they really don't like Ivy being happy. I think that her character got done really dirty, and I didn't include her in the main 4 girls video, because she was a main character for a while, but she was only like around half the show, and she didn't even spend her whole time on the show as a main character. But yeah, it's just really got sidelined a lot, to the point where I thought, then why was she brought into the show if that's how they're gonna treat her? But yeah, that was definitely her best relationship. I think I'd give it 4 out of 5. I wish that they got a happy ending, right off into the sunset together, or surf into the sunset together, whichever comes first. And then I already talked about her and Dixon. I forgot to mention when talking about Liam, it's listed that they were a fling. Again, no strong feelings there. I guess 2, 3 out of 5, whichever. She has a couple of other flings that I really don't remember about much about. Anything about, really. Her and Oscar, it's listed as an affair, fling, whatever. But obviously he ends up sleeping with her mom. Or at least hooking up with her mom, which is like, what the fuck, man? So that's a 1 out of 5. Who the fuck does that? They definitely took a page out of the OC, and Luke and Julie and Marissa finding out, like, oof, yeah, mess. Then we just have a few last ones. Ryan is a character I don't really think about, if I'm honest. Him and Debbie, again, I don't really care for the parents in the show. They're not what I watch. They were okay. Guess I could give them a 3 out of 5. Him and Jen, random. Again, don't really care. I guess 2 out of 5. It's not the worst thing in the show, but it's definitely like nothing to root for exactly. Him and Kelly, again, don't really care. He slept with Brenda, so I guess like 2 out of 5. Again, like, it's not why I watched the show. I don't think that this was a show that necessarily did parent storylines really well, which explains why they wrote them out. Like, by the end of season 2, the parent characters were non-existent, and Kelly's character was also written off, because she was the tie to the... Then, the last relationship is Debbie and Harry, Annie and Dixon's parents. Obviously, they end up in divorce, and there was cheating involved, and this and that, so I'll just probably give it a 1 out of 5. And I'm sorry to end it on a negative note, but I don't remember anything good I can say about this relationship. So yeah, that is pretty much it for this video. I know that it sounds a bit more on the surface, but I think that is quite summarizing of the nature of the relationships in the show, is that there weren't that many with proper depth and development, and a lot of the relationships were there to fill the screen time and create drama. And the fact that the writers couldn't think of other types of storylines for some characters, but thought, okay, we'll just put them in a relationship even if it doesn't make logical sense. Especially Annie and Naomi were punished the most for it. And probably Liam too. I'm pretty sure some fans called him a man whore when it was airing. I watched the last couple seasons as it was airing. So yeah, it's more of a reflection on the writers and their lack of ability or lack of wanting to write other type of conflict. Maybe they thought that's what would sell. So obviously when it comes to the relationships that were deeper, that were more series term, that they actually put effort in, like I said, a lot of them, even my favorites, they couldn't even do the proper decency to them to execute them correctly, because even the couples that I love the most, they were done dirty by the writers in terms of the execution, to the point where it feels like even the ones that ended up together, they end up together because the fans wanted to, but they couldn't be bothered to write properly around it. I don't know. And obviously then you have lots of couples that got together out of cheating on their friends and their partners, couples that got back together despite of the cheating. Like, there was so much cheating and so much backstabbing in these relationships that I really think this is the sort of show that you don't necessarily watch to root for any couples or say that their relationship goals, but you do watch for the messiness and the drama. And yeah, I think that it's definitely one of the messiest hookup maps that I've ever seen, in terms of who sleeps with who, kisses who, whatever. And yeah, it's hard to rival that. I mean, some shows try, but this is definitely one of the worst. Or the best if you love that sort of drama. For me, it definitely got a bit grating after a while, and I wish that there was at least one relationship that the writers left alone, for some consistency, but that's not what they were going for. And I guess tonally it fits, but yeah. That's what I think about the romances as a whole. And if you have any opinions on these ships, share your thoughts, what you think, what ranking you would give them out of 5, out of 10, whatever you want. And I hope to see you next time as I move into content about Buffy the Vampire Slayer.